What ties a 90s sitcom character to Miami's R&B scene explosion? Meet Pretty Ricky. And trust me, the tea is hot and a little messy in the best way. Hey, I'm Emma. I'm buzzing today, like high-key excited to dive into one of those pop culture connections you don't see coming until it's staring you in the face. You know I love when music and TV history do a little crossover dance. So, let's talk Pretty Ricky. Miami born and raised. Four guys who formed in the late 90s and blew up in the mid-2000s by blending silky R&B hooks with rap verses that hit like a club bass line. The original lineup was family at its core. Brothers Diamond, Baby Blue Smith, and Spectacular Smith, their cousin Corey Slickum Mathis, and the singer Marcus Pleasure P. Cooper. And their name, this is my favorite part, is a nod to Pretty Ricky, a character played by Miguel A. Nunez Jr. and the sitcom Martin. Pop culture DNA right there. Let me set the scene. I was a teen at this summer arena tour, one of those big lineups. Pretty Ricky comes on, lights go low, and suddenly you could feel the whole crowd move like a wave. Their music wasn't just radio singles. It was a vibe the room understood instantly. Pleasure P starts singing the first lines, smooth as butter. Then the others bounce in with those tight, flirty rap verses. It was the perfect couple energy between melody and swagger. A total vibe. I remember thinking, okay, so this is what live music can do to your heartbeat. That show felt like a kismet moment. I'd loved R&B and hip-hop separately, obviously, but seeing Pretty Ricky fuse them on stage flipped a switch. I started chasing more concerts, more scenes, more late-night rabbit holes into how artists build a sound. It taught me that sometimes the thing that grabs you for life can come from a place you didn't expect. A Miami quartet named after a Martin character was not on my 2000s bingo card, honey. But here we are, obsessed. Okay, let's move on. The basics. Pretty Ricky forms in Miami in the late 90s under Blue Star Entertainment, helmed by Joseph Blue Smith. Family was running point. Their father, Joseph Smith Sr., who's of Jamaican descent, helped manage them early on, which meant guidance, discipline, and a brand before the brand. By the early 2000s, local radio starts paying attention. We're talking WPOW Power 96, Miami's hit station that could make a record explode across the city overnight. Here's the tea, straight up. In 2002, their track Flossin' gets heavy spins on Power 96. And then in 2004, Grind With Me hits the station so hard that Ira Wolf, the Power 96 program director known as Tony the Tiger, sends it to Craig Kallman at Atlantic Records. The boys audition for Kallman and boom, record deal. That is the mid-2000s pipeline in one line. Local radio cosign to major label moment. Chef's kiss. Their sound is like a musical smoothie. Smooth R&B vocals, punchy rap cadences, club-ready beats, blend until it's radio perfect. Grind With Me went top 10 nationwide in 2005 and went platinum. The debut album Blue Stars that year went gold. Then Your Body kept the wave going. By 2007, Late Night Special debuted at #1 across all genres, about 130,000 the first week. They were dominant, and they backed it up on the road. Let's jump to the next thing. People matter. The family engine, Joseph Smith Sr. keeping them focused in those rough early club years. The producer, Jim Johnson, from the Unusual Suspects camp, sharpening their radio-ready edge. And then radio gatekeepers like Ira Wolf. When you've got a PD passing your single to Craig Kallman at Atlantic, that's a career-shifting text message, just saying. Now, Pleasure P. If you're new here, he's the lead singer whose warm tone made the hooks hit, while the other three rapped, giving them that hybrid appeal across R&B and rap charts. When Pleasure P left in 2007 to go solo, the group brought in new vocalists, first Moe, then Foreplay, later Lingerie, and you could feel the chemistry shift. It wasn't a total collapse, but it was a wobble. Chart power dipped, and that's not just numbers, it's identity. Groups like this are delicate ecosystems. Swap one piece and the whole energy rebalances, sometimes awkwardly. And touring pressure was real. In 2005, they hit Scream Tour 4, which, for anyone who missed that era, was like R&B and hip-hop summer camp with star power. Omarion, the B2K frontman turned solo star. Bow Wow, teen rap icon. Chris Brown, early in his rise. Bobby V, the slow-down crooner. Those arenas were full of teens who decide what the next year of radio sounds like. Imagine being Pretty Ricky, stepping out after those names, and still having the girls screaming. That kind of pressure and payoff is a flex. Okay, pause. Big, unanswered question time. Their 2006 single, On the Hotline? Here's the messy part. Depending on where you look, its Hot 100 peak is listed either at number 12 or at number 97. I know, those are not the same number, honey. But the RIAA says it went platinum. My take? Sometimes charts get misreported. People mix in component airplay charts, or a later remix muddies the waters. A weekly peak is a snapshot. Certification reflects cumulative love. Streams, sales, the long tail. If it's platinum, fans were eating it up even if a particular week didn't look blockbuster on paper. While we're here, a wild international twist. Push It Baby with Sean Paul. And if you don't know, Sean Paul is the Jamaican dancehall star with global hits like Get Busy. Didn't crack the US Hot 100, but it apparently went to number 2 in Finland. Finland basically said, yes, actually, we will be pushing it, thanks. Regional tastes are funny like that. One feature can tilt a market. Let's dissect this for a sec. By 2008, they announced an album called 80s Babies. Leaks and creative differences happened, and the project got shelved. Big yikes. Without that anchor, the singles from that window kind of just floated. Then in 2009, they left Atlantic and signed with Big Cat Records, an indie based in Atlanta. The album Pretty Ricky dropped and peaked in the 90s on the Billboard 200 for a week. That's the major versus indie difference in one line. Radio muscle, marketing spend, retail reach, you feel it. Oh, and speaking of drama, there's the later legal scandal around Baby Blue, one of the brothers. Reports say he pleaded guilty in a PPP loan fraud scheme tied to the COVID-era program. The exact timing details aren't all here, but the headlines were loud. It's a reminder that real life can crash into the glossy music narrative at any time. Not cute, not fun, but part of the story people remember. Now for something different. Why their name still matters. That Martin reference made them feel like cousins to an entire generation that grew up on 90s black TV. It's not just clever, it's memory glue. You hear Pretty Ricky, and you're also hearing that laugh track from your living room back in the day. That kind of brand DNA keeps you sticky in pop culture. Fast forward. The Millennium Tour in 2019 was a mega nostalgia run loaded with 2000 stars. B2K, Mario, Chingy, Ying Yang Twins, Lloyd, Bobby Valentino. It was a time machine with better lighting, and Pretty Ricky jumped on that to remind everyone why their catalog still slaps. Pleasure P had rejoined in 2015, which restored that original vocal rap spark. And by 2020, they dropped Body to show the reunion wasn't just a meet and greet, it was an actual plan. I love a glow-up built on receipts. All right, what's next? Next time, I want to pull on another 2000s thread with a backstory that will have you side-eyeing your whole playlist. Think chart toppers, messy group chats, and a comeback you did not see coming. Okay, we covered a lot. From Miami radio to sitcom names to platinum plaques and a little courtroom cloud. The lesson? Embrace the unexpected connections. That's where the culture really lives. I'm Emma. Send me your Pretty Ricky memories and your hottest nostalgia tour takes. And be nice or be interesting. Later.